Good morning, mi gente. It's 9 a.m. I know, gay people and an LGBTQ plus Kiki at 9 in the freaking morning. Whose idea was this? Oh, wait a minute. It was my idea. That's why I'm still in bed. Me, you know who I am. I'm FayWhat, and I'm going to help you get your week started off right. We have lots of fun things to talk about. It's going to be a great week.
Rainbows, gay boys, hashtag that girl. Sunbeams, drag queens, L-word. Is that girl the girl of all our dreams? She's everything that every girl should be. Aqua, South Beach, hashtag that girl. Pride-filled, T-dance, Wilton. Is that girl Latina, but she's universal too. If you find a girl to love, only one girl to love, then she'll be that girl too. That girl.
The FayWhat Show is America's first LGBTQ plus morning show, and we're live right now on Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, Amazon Fire Television, YouTube, and Facebook. I'm also on demand anytime you want. It's Monday, May 6, 2024. Yesterday was Cinco de Mayo, all right? A self-made holiday, I think. I hope you had a blast and you enjoyed it, okay? All right. So let's kiki about what's going on in the LGBTQ plus community. I have a sidekick joining me in bed. You know who he is. I missed him. He's not been here for a little bit. He was totally ignoring me.
I'm sorry.
Might have been because I was stalking him.
Well,
I don't know. Maybe. Our first segment is called Gay Boys Sleep Late. And this morning, I'm joined by my gay guy pal, adult performer, and star of For the Love of Dilks on Out TV, Alex Ticas. You can follow his adults-only Twitter at @Alex_Ticas and catch him as he bartends at the Eagle Wilton Manors. Good morning, Alex, and welcome back to my bed, boo.
Am I your baby reindeer?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God, Martha. Wasn't that her name? Her name was Martha, right?
Yeah. I'm on episode 3 right now, yeah.
Shit. Folks at home, if you have not seen Baby Reindeer.
Oh, my God.
It's a roller coaster ride. You can't stop watching the sick shit that happens on this show.
Turn it off and turn it on. Turn it on because, I can't. Give me 5 minutes.
Okay, so for the folks that haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil it. That bitch is crazy. I'm not going to spoil it, right? But as a bartender, are you worried to ever give a Diet Coke out for free?
Oh, my God. Well, all of a sudden, they just won't think you want to have sex with them. I'm like, if you're nice, they just think it's like a come on. I'm like, it's a soda.
So that has happened to you then?
I find sometimes when I'm overly nice, I give off the wrong and I have to give it the chop. But nobody, I haven't really been stalked because I don't think people have the patience with me for it. Because I'm just like, come on, really? I'm 50. Can you find somebody else?
Now you've got no qualms about telling somebody. Maybe 20 years ago it was different, right?
No, 20 years ago I would be like, well, I'm not sure. Okay, that's really nice. And then I would just sort of like him. He was just avalanche on me, and then it would explode. I'm like, get away from me! And create all of this bullshit.
Again, we're not ruining it for you, but I believe her name was Martha. She has some mental issues that she needs to overcome. Let's just say, right? And so this bartender, gives her a free Diet Coke, right? Yeah. And that's the beginning of a friendship.
I mean, so
on one side,
this is not a spoiler, but she says that she owns a law firm.
Yes.
And he gives her a free Diet Coke because she can't afford it. My mouth would have been on that so fast. I would have been like, why can't you afford it? Don't you own a law firm? And the show would be over.
And the show would be over. The show would be over because you're a big-ass queen. And you'd be like, what do you mean? Really? Because she did say she forgot her purse. Yeah. Alex would have been like, who forgets their purse?
Who forgets their purse? And where's your phone? Because you can Venmo me. Come on now.
I take Zelle, bitch.
So you're not going to tip. Great. Okay.
And you're going to sit here for 3 hours and take a prime spot at my bar.
See, this is why stalkers don't, because I would just be like,
but that stalker shit, I see how that could happen though, easily. And also you're being nice to someone and they can misconstrue what you're trying to say, That happens to me with lesbians all the time because I'll be like, wow, your ass looks great in those jeans. And I'm not hitting on you. Right. I like the jeans.
That'll be $5 handsome. If you say something that is just affirming, they just take it. I don't know. But
But again, I mean, we also interact with a lot of different people, right?
In South Florida.
In South Florida. And mental health is expensive, and a lot of people don't know where to get the right resources. And we come across them often. I do a little prayer, and I'm like, oh, I hope they find themselves. Anyway, watch Baby Reindeer. It is effed up, but watch it. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
totally.
So first, let's talk about some stuff. Okay, get ready for some real talk because Rosie O'Donnell is sounding the alarm, woo, 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 loud and clear as we gear up for the elections. In a recent chat with Chris Cuomo on News Nation, this actress, activist, and all-around icon didn't hold back, pulling no punches when it comes to the stakes of another Trump run. She said, quote, democracy is on trial, end quote. Rosie's been on the front lines of this battle since day one, and she's not mincing words about the danger ahead. With Trump back in the spotlight, O'Donnell's warning sirens are blaring louder than ever. Watch this.
It's very interesting. I expect nothing but the lowest bar for Donald Trump. And, every single day he just grants my perception of him as correct by his actions, by his words, by his horrible Truth Social that is failing. And, he is the kind of person that is a grifter. And he is an evangelical preacher to people who believed that Celebrity Apprentice was true. And Celebrity Apprentice was not true. And Mark Burnett has tapes of him calling people every racist word in the world, telling women to get down on their knees. Mark Burnett owns the cache of all of Trump's sickness, and he refuses to release it. And I think that's a sin, because what's happening now is democracy is on trial.
Rosie goes after Trump, and I live for it. What are we all talking about? I love that Rosie called out Mark Burnett like that, saying, like, you've got all the footage of this shit, and you're not going to let it out. Of course he's not. He's a white man. Like, well, he's going to protect Trump.
And Trump, if he wins, is probably going to protect him.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking to a lot of people about it at the bar, and they're coming in, and like, if he wins, it's a shit show. If he loses, it's a shit show, because you don't even know January 6th might be just sort of like the precursor.
Oh my God, must have been the practice run.
Can you imagine? He loses, or God forbid I say he dies, because if he dies, all of a sudden there's some sort of conspiracy. Like, a million things can go wrong no matter which side of the chessboard you play on.
Yeah.
So good for her. I mean, she's always been very, very outspoken.
Very outspoken.
And she's telling the truth. Like, Mark Burnett, who knows what they're hiding in Russia? All these conspiracy theories.
Yeah. But I mean, all those conspiracy theories are derived from something real, though, Alex.
I don't understand how this guy is convicted, or this guy's on trial, or this.
And he still gets to run for president.
I mean,
I know.
How does that make sense in any? It's insane. Like, the guy's literally on trial and indicted, and still the primary, like, won the Republican primary. Mm-hmm. What does that say? I don't know.
It's ridiculous is what it is. And, I love that Rosie, like you said, is outspoken. I loved Rosie back in the day. Do you remember when she had her talk show?
Everything.
Okay. I loved her talk show. And as a little lesbian, I was like, my God, I want to be like her, right? Yeah. And then she came out and then went cuckoo. Like, just lost her shit, which can happen with coming out. I totally get it. And I don't know what it's like to come out on that scale where she was at either,
Which is kind of the worst kept secret, and come on,
right? Like, she didn't have to shave the side of her head for us to know. She didn't have to get the lesbian mullet for us to know that we knew, Yeah. But I mean, she has been a firm advocator against Trump since the beginning.
Yeah.
And she's not afraid to call people out. Like, I mean, we need to hear more of this.
I mean, and what would you call her? What would she be like if she were a guy? Speaking like this, I mean, if she were,
they wouldn't think of her as an angry lesbian like they do now, Alex.
Yeah. So
that's it. It's the truth, And I mean, let me ask you something. That's interesting that you said that at the bar, the Eagle, Wilton Manors, please come by.
Please come.
I love you, Chuck.
Hi, Chuck.
When a leather bar, right? A leather bar. There's people there with very little clothing, and we expect it from you, Alex, and yet you are still talking about elections coming up and voting and stuff like that.
So. I work happy hour. In addition to the night shifts, I work the happy hour shifts. And what do? The music is low, so you chat back and forth. And, the Trump supporters don't say that they're Trump supporters, and the non-Trump supporters we'll talk about it all day that they don't support Trump. But it's like if he loses, Wilton Manors needs to amp the security for all of our events are already amped up.
Yeah.
But what's going to happen when he loses and all of a sudden you're like half naked in a bar?
Yeah.
Being whatever you want to be, and some idiot
comes in.
What are you going to, like, we have like everything in place for something like that, but my God, how crazy. It's not crazy to think that's going to happen. It's going to happen.
No,
you know what I mean?
Listen, a lot of us in our community still have PTSD from when the guys in their pickup trucks with the Trump and American flags came through Wilton Drive.
Wow.
Okay, screaming obscenities to our brothers.
It's like,
okay, those are just precursors to what could happen. The wonderful thing is that our community,
we don't take it.
We don't take no shit.
No, we won't.
And a lot of us are armed. You just don't know.
Oh my God, I literally was at a friend's house and I didn't know he was armed, and he brought it up. I was like, whoa, like the least assuming he is ready to go.
Well, and he's got that right to be.
Yeah,
okay? And
just like you.
And just like you. And the difference between the LGBTQ plus community and others when it comes to guns, we don't tell everybody. We don't boast about that. We're more talking about what show we're going to this weekend or what we're about to buy, but we're not there like, look at our guns, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's just very on the low, and we're ready. It would only be if necessary, you know? And it's scary that we're even having this conversation about having a freaking gun,
I've never held a gun in my life.
No?
Not even once.
I have, and I didn't like it.
Right?
I didn't like how it made me feel. I didn't like, some people love the warmth and the hot of it and all that. Like, the fact that this thing could kill somebody and it's killing people while I'm talking and I'm holding this, I could not with that responsibility.
And we're not talking about Rosie, are we?
No, we never are. Rosie probably has a gun.
Who's to say she doesn't?
I mean, but again, she's got the right? Yeah. All right. Next, the Spice Girls. Yes, the Spice Girls. We go from guns to Spice Girls. This is how we roll here at the FayWhat show. I'm sorry. The Spice Girls just gave us a blast from the past. Our favorite girl group reunited for a special occasion. Posh Spice, Victoria Beckham's fabulous 50th birthday, and it was everything we hoped for and more. Emma Bunton, Melanie Brown, Melanie Chisholm, and Jerry Halliwell, all of them brought the house down with an impromptu performance that had fans squealing with delight. They danced on-stop, busting out those signature dance moves. It was a nostalgic moment that reminded us why we fell in love with them in the first place. David Beckham shared behind-the-scenes moments of this epic reunion. Watch this. David Beckham, are you? Spice Girls reunite. What are we all talking about? It's been like decades since they've all gotten together.
Have you seen them on stage?
No.
Yeah.
No. Have you? No.
Not so much.
They never did it for you?
I've had coworkers that were so, at my office in New York, so obsessed. Like literally, and the women there were, and the guy, like, and I'm like,
it wasn't for you.
But I like Victoria Beckham, though.
Oh, yes. So Victoria Beckham, I'd watch her and her husband have sex all day.
Yeah, I would too.
All day.
I would have loved to know that part. That party looked like a lot of fun.
It did look, and like her 50th, she looks amazing. Gorgeous. Like, gorgeous. Yeah. Next, Miami Beach kicked off Pride season a few weeks ago, and Senator Shev Jones, the first out gay and LGBTQ plus black person in Florida's Senate, soaked up every moment. We love us some Shev. Marching proudly in the parade, he waved rainbow flags and mingled with constituents. After a fun-filled day with Senior Don Julio, he got back to business. Jones announced his candidacy for Miami-Dade County Democratic Chairman, unopposed. With an eye on the future, he's positioned for greater leadership, eyeing a gubernatorial bid. His advocacy for LGBTQ plus rights, critique of diverse politics, and role in Biden's re-election efforts showcase his commitment to progress. Shev tells us about our future. What are we all talking about? More people that represent us, that look like us, that are part of the LGBTQ plus community need to run for office.
It's so weird down here.
What do you mean?
It amazes me how outside of Wilton Manors, how conservative and like really just like where else besides us? Maybe what pockets of like Miami are not conservative or progressive?
Very few,
Yeah.
if any.
I mean, there's so many of us.
There's so many of us. Yeah, and there's so many of us in Miami. You would think that more LGBTQ plus people would run, but I also think that a lot of people don't know where to go, how to start the process, or they think it's so far beyond their reach. Yeah. You know, there is an organization called LPAC, and I'm hoping I'm saying that correctly. This beautiful girl, Janelle Sophia something. What's her last name? Anyway, she's amazing, and what they do is that they help LGBTQ plus people that want to run for office, right? So they basically take them under their wing and say, okay, these are the things you need. This is what you should look forward to. This is what you should plan for now. This is what this is going to cost. This is what this is going to cost, you know? And it puts things in perspective, you know? And so if somebody has an inkling to want to run, then, you know, they need to go to one of these organizations and find out what it entails, you know, because Chevron can't do all the heavy lifting.
No, they would, if I would run, they would lose me in the first 2 seconds of the vetting process.
Why do you say that?
You know,
because of your backstory?
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, okay, yes, I get it. You know, you've worked in the adult field.
Right.
Let's say that, right? You know, you have your OnlyFans. And, you know, I've done stories of people in other countries that have run for office in their towns and have won.
They can't get past it here, though. You think they can get past it?
Because of the sex? Because of
just like, well, because of just sort of like the deviance of it. And it's just like clutch your pearls and whatever. But don't you wish? I mean, back in the mid 80s, there was like an Italian porn star named Cicciolina who literally won like a 2-year term in the parliament, and she was like a porn. Why in Europe and not here?
Why?
Yeah. Because we're like, you know, we turn the lights off before we get
naked. You should have sex with the lights on, people.
Absolutely.
Like, come on, Americans.
At least good lighting. Doesn't have to be like.
No, yeah. We need some good lighting because.
But I think it's great with this guy. I mean, hopefully we can get somebody like that in our governor chair.
Listen, and Shev has been fighting for us for years. Yeah. You know, and by the way, Shev, you go with that health kick, okay? Shev Jones used to be a bigger man, right? I saw him the other day at a gala, and he's like thin. He's like a waif model.
Really? You're a waif model. Look at you. Come on.
Okay, so and I totally made fun of him. He's going to get me for this one. But I saw him at the Shine Gala, at Sunserve Shine Gala. And I'm like, are you on semaglutide?
Are you on Ozempic?
And he was like, God, no. And I said, I'm going to start that rumor. I'm going to post it. I just did.
Let's go.
Shev is not on Ozempic. I know. He's adorable. Yeah. And I love what he comes down here often, always supportive of everything that we do. Chevron is just 1 in a million. Keep doing what you're doing. We need to clone your ass into like 20 or 30 because the fight is big. The fight is big, okay? And we love you, Shev. We're sending good energies your way. Keep kicking ass. Next. Pop sensation Katy Perry is facing backlash from her LGBTQ plus fans after publicly thanking Tesla CEO Elon Musk for gifting her a new Cybertruck. Oh, God, Lord Jesus. Sharing a photo on Twitter, Perry posed with her army green ride, captioning it with a simple, quote, "Thanks for the delivery, Elon Musk," end quote. Musk chimed in, commenting that Cybertruck looks good. Amidst the comments, disappointed fans criticized Perry for supporting Musk, especially concerning his views on trans individuals. The LGBTQ plus community expressed disappointment too. Katy Perry, thanks Elon? WTF, man? What are we all talking about? You saw this, right?
First of all, what an ugly car. I'm sorry. I love the look of a Tesla. I've been in it. Mm-hmm. Very cool. But this truck is ugly. It's an ugly car.
What makes it ugly? Just because it's just
really
the
boxy,
shape of
the shape, and it's boxy, and it looks like kind of like an insect. Like really looks like an insect. Like,
oh, there it is. Yeah.
No,
it looks weird.
Yeah. I mean, it's very space age looking, and the thing is low, but But no, I wouldn't thank him for anything on that.
No, Elon Musk is a disgusting human being. Okay, like I got off. I know that some people could not get off Twitter, right, for work reasons and stuff like that, right? But the only positive thing about the Twitter rules allowing anybody to be free is the sexual part of it, right? Absolutely. Is that a lot of boys that I know are able to share their content, make some money, blah blah blah. That's the only part that's been a positive part of it. The fact that you can use the N-word, the fact that you can be racist, the fact that you can say horrible things about our community. The second that Elon Musk allowed that, I had to get off Twitter completely, you know? And that's it. The man doesn't exist to me anymore. He's weird.
Well, speaking of weird, he just wrote something about finally AI technology will have a special female robot, like female robots, so lifelike in about 2030, he said, that you can mildly quote him, you can have sex with them and they won't complain about your, distorted penis, or they won't complain about how you make love, or I'm like, is somebody complaining about you right now? Can you not wait for your special robot?
Right.
But he is weird. Like, this is what you're looking forward to creating. Now, don't get me wrong. If they had a Jason Momoa kind of AI doll,
I think I'd get
I would look at it and I would do my careful research about
Oh my God.
But it wouldn't be because I was insecure about I wouldn't hire him. I wouldn't buy it because I felt that he would I'd be like, I don't need you for that.
No, I get it. I get it. And I know
Weirdo,
that.
right?
And he seems weird, and I get a bad feeling when I see Teslas. I just do. And I know that you like them, but I don't think LGBTQ plus people should be driving around in Teslas, baby.
Absolutely.
I don't think you should. This guy's horrible. He's got a trans daughter that won't talk to him because he's a piece of shit.
I mean, come on now. That's so billionaires are once you make a certain amount of money, you become a certain,
you become a rock, or you become stoned, or you become weird, or you don't know how to read a room, or you just forgot how to be nice. Look, my shirt says be kind, right? Okay, so at Unity on the Bay, we do random acts of kindness once a year, right? So we go to Wynwood, or we go to a big populated place, and we give out flowers, we give out compliments, I'll be like, wow, your ass looks great in those pants. And then they'll say, hey, we're a church, Faye, what's going on, right? But, the fact that we have to remind people to be kind, okay? And that people don't know how to take a compliment. The
fact that billionaires complain about taxes. Can you imagine?
Look what
I know you're trying to build wealth for you and your family and your families for generations. But the fact that you say, I have to pay $500 million in taxes.
Now I only have 500 trillion.
I mean,
what am I going to do with this little money? How am I going to survive? You can't take the money with you, by the way.
That's why we don't have any money.
Is that why?
That's why. We're too nice to have money. And we're too pretty to win the lotto. That's what I always say.
Yes. I was telling my friend on the way here, I really effed up. In my 20s, I had a prince after me, right? And I had
Me too!
Oh my God,
Yes!
it was the same prince!
It was.
But, I couldn't F an old guy. The saggy balls just wouldn't let me, right? And I'm like, man, I really effed up.
And
I could have had some money forever.
And now I'm
nobody wants me.
Nothing. No, I'm the guy with this.
No, you're the guy with the saggy balls? Is that what you were about to say?
I'm not the sugar daddy. I'm the Splenda daddy.
Please subscribe to his OnlyFans. His balls are not saggy. I'm totally effing around, okay? They're not. They're beautifully plump. Can I say that?
Thank you for the plug.
He does not need a bra for his balls or anything.
Maybe Scrotox, but that's about it. Anyway.
All right.
Thank you, Elon Musk.
Thank you, Elon Musk, thank you. Next, Cardi B stirs the pot once again. I love her. This time with her take on the Netflix series Baby Reindeer, right? I forgot we were talking about this and we did our own thing on it. All right. So in an Instagram live session, she shares a debunked belief suggesting that some men only recognize their sexuality after experiencing male assault. While Cardi acknowledges this isn't true for everyone, her comments reignite debates around harmful stereotypes regarding assault survivors and identity. In Cardi's world, controversy is never far behind. Richard Gadd's acclaimed 7-part Netflix series, Baby Reindeer, follows Donnie, played by Gadd himself, as he confronts a relentless stalker. The show boldly presents the harsh realities of sexual assault and rape. Watch this.
I feel like I have a cousin that I just knew since he was 2 years old, yo, he's gay. I watched this show, the Baby Reindeer. It's on Netflix, and the fourth, I haven't been able to finish watching it because I think around the 4th and 5th episode, it kind of traumatized me a little bit, and it freaked me out because, you know, like sometimes in life when you don't have nothing, and like when you're like trying to figure out your path or your dreams and stuff like that, like you get into really bad situations. And then like on the show, like in this episode that I saw, and I was like, I can't even watch anymore. Like the guy, he wants to be a comedian, so he met this guy that, of course, that is like, he told him that like he was gonna put him on, and the guy introduced him to drugs. And while he was drugged up, the guy was raping him. Like he was like finger popping his ass. Then he started fucking him. They started sucking his dick and all this weird. And then because of that, like the guy just started going through a very hard time through his life, because he just felt so violated, and he never went to the police because he felt so ashamed. And then he like, because of that, he started finding out that, you know, that he was like kind of getting into that, and he was such ashamed of the new feelings that he was experiencing. And it's so crazy because like it's so important for us to like know certain male perspective about these type of things, because you know, women go through a lot of sexual assault, but we don't really get to hear or see what other men go through when they experience sexual assault. And it just like it shocked me. And then it's crazy because, like, you know, like I believe that there's some men that are born gay. Like I feel like I have a cousin that I just knew since he was like 2 years old, like, yo, he's gay, like he's gonna be gay, and he is gay, and I love him. And there's some people that, like, you know, there's people that are born gay, and then there's men that get sexually assaulted and then they find out that they are gay. And like some people, you know, people are always gonna be judgmental, people are always gonna like not accept them and stuff like that. But it's like people sometimes don't even know their story or how they got there. And it's like, that's why sometimes you gotta be like more open about certain things, because it's like you just don't know people's story and why they like and their preference and how did they even got there. You know what I'm saying? Like not everybody, as you can see, like not everybody is born gay. Like as you see, if you see that episode, you see like the guy, he was straight and he got raped, and then he just started going through all these emotions of identity of what he likes. Like it's like he started having crazy sex with women, he started having crazy sex with men, because he just wanted to identify of what he likes, or because he got sexually assaulted.
Cardi B chimes in on Baby Reindeer. What are we all talking about? Lots to unpack there.
She had a lot to say about that.
She really did have a lot to say.
But I mean, I was looking at it going, well, where's the lie, I guess? I mean, I know a lot of guys, 40s, 50s, who have come out, kids, whatever, you know, there's a lot of that. And it just maybe takes time, a couple of drinks maybe, or maybe like some sort of situation,
or the right situation, or whatever it is, you know, like like what she was touching on. It's true that we don't talk a lot about, you know, men being sexually assaulted, and a lot of times, you know, what will happen is a man will be sexually assaulted, and they can't go and they can't perform with a woman after that, okay?
Right.
Because they haven't gone to therapy or really worked through what happened to them years ago,
right.
You know?
Yeah.
Does that make them gay, you know, or does that make them afraid, you know? You know, lot to unpack there, lot. You know? I mean, I know women, you know, one in particular, I know her story, and you know, she was violently raped at a young age, and she could never trust a male again, okay? Right. You know, and she met a woman and fell in love, but says that maybe if that sexual attack wouldn't have happened, that she might have never been with a woman.
And what if a guy's like really super, you know, hasn't even tapped that energy, and all of a sudden the situation arises where he's in a situation with a guy, and it totally freaks him out, and he doesn't know how to handle those after feelings, so it'll come out in the form of violence.
Yes.
Or violence towards himself, where he could kill himself or something like that, because he never, I mean, but...
And that happens so much in the trans community.
Of course.
Alex, you know, like constantly, like this beautiful woman, Andrea, in Miami, got killed a couple of weeks ago by her lover. And that story is common in our trans community. They know that it'll be someone that they know and they think loves them. And then that person might say, wait, I'm not gay. Or wait, or start questioning themselves. And in a moment of just crazy, do something completely insane that you can't come back from.
And of course, there'll be no sentence. So, it's some sort of like mental insanity or mental illness.
Yeah. There's even like a law like that here in Florida, where it could just say like, you know, I felt I felt attacked. My sexuality was attacked, and that's okay. You know, and now
Florida.
this beautiful woman is gone.
Yeah.
So thank you, Cardi B, for chiming in,
Cardi,
you know, and having your gay cousin and loving him for who he is, and watching Baby Reindeer and supporting the fact that we think it's crazy, you think it's crazy, everybody's got to watch it.
Yeah.
There it is. The FayWhat Show is part of one of the largest LGBTQ plus media companies in America, and Hotspots Magazine has been documenting the LGBTQ plus experience for 40 years, and Happening Out Television Network has been bringing you daily LGBTQ plus news, talk shows, and more for 4 years. In the same model of PBS and NPR, we are a nonprofit 501c3 organization whose mission is to educate and serve the LGBTQ plus community. Next, at the FayWhat Show, we need to help my gay boys. In our next segment, it's called Dear Faye. I provide my expert lesbian knowledge and my vast experience as a living, breathing sort of gay boy sometimes to help my fellow gay boys.
Yeah.
This week, I have Alex helping me, okay?
Boy.
All right, here we go. This week, Pops sent me an email, okay? Hey, FayWhat. My 22-year-old recently came out to me as homosexual. I had a feeling something was going on because he was hiding a lot of stuff from me. That being said, I was raised in a family where homosexuality is highly discouraged. We are church people, and it's challenging for me to divorce myself from that way of thinking. I'm trying my best and learning from my son in the process. He tells me that he always felt this way and that being gay is not his choice. While I'm still wrapping my head around it, I'm getting there. One issue I struggle most with, however, is that it's hard to imagine him having sexual relations with another man if he's the submissive partner. I realize I might be overstepping, but it would help me come to terms with his new identity if at least I knew he was the masculine dominant one. What? I don't think thinking about him in another way. Is it okay to tell my son that I accept him being gay as long as he isn't the passive one in the bedroom? I think that would make it a lot easier for me to come to terms with all of this. Signed, Pops. I don't mean to laugh. It was just a lot to unpack, Pops.
Oh my God. Do you want to start?
You start.
Okay, first of all, couple of things I'm reading, I'm going, whoa. First of all, you're imagining your child having sex, number one. Number two,
there's no need for that.
Yeah, first, let's just leave it there, number one. Number two, you're worried about him being the top or the bottom. If that were the biggest issue in anybody's coming out in general, the world would be a much
easier.
It'd
be a much kinder place.
I mean, come on. It's like, from a personal standpoint, I think you need to be a real man to take some.
Yes. Listen. Power bottoms.
It's easy being the top, but
as a top. Look at Alex. Alex is like, as a top. I'm telling you, it's harder to be a bottom. He's saying it.
Just lay there. But as the bottom, that's some work, man. Yeah. And it's
some preparation. There's a lot that you need to do.
Your masculinity, I mean, it just goes without saying, if you can't define your masculinity, but what role you take in the bedroom, and give me a break, Dad. Dad, chill out. Yeah. That's my response in a nutshell.
Right? And basically, I'm going to say the chill out also, okay? So, Pops, listen, I'm glad that you reached out to us for guidance, okay? Navigating a family member coming out is new territory for a lot of parents, and we get it. It's natural for family members and friends to also have questions, concerns, and a lack of knowledge about how to handle this new journey, right? But what's most important for you to understand is that your son needs you to love him, period, unconditionally. That means you accept him fully. As queer people, we struggle enough with figuring out our identities, so asking him to have a certain role in his relationships is simply not an acceptable thought. What you are saying is, if you require him to be a certain type of gay man, is that you're only accepting him if he fits into a mold that makes you feel more comfortable rather than putting him first. So, no offense, but this isn't about you.
Exactly.
It's about you supporting your son during what is probably one of the most difficult things he'll ever freaking go through. I believe you need some education around this, so let me do my best to explain. With two men, just because someone is in a passive role in the bedroom, often called the bottom, it doesn't mean they're any less masculine or dominant. Thinking they are is actually rooted in misogyny, where a more passive role is somehow seen as weak or less than, and it's not. I would encourage you to try and clear out these crazy ideas. Try to unlearn these thoughts so you can see your son through fresh eyes. Honestly, what your son does in the bedroom as a fully formed adult is actually none of your fucking business as a parent. Instead of asking your son to change who he is, you'll need to work through your own feelings of discomfort by talking with your friends and family, or maybe your therapist, or reaching out for community support somewhere. It's perfect, okay, to ask him questions so that you can learn how to best support him. But any conflicting feelings you should have, just don't mention it to him. There's no place for it, okay? There's only place for unconditional love and acceptance right now for your son. Your son is the same person he always was, regardless of his sexual orientation or sexual preferences. You can't pick and choose which parts of him you're gonna like and which you're gonna support and which you're not, all right? This is so damaging for a queer person who is simply trying to be fully authentic, baby, and trying to accept themselves daily. I hope this helps, Pops, okay? But like Alex said, get over yourself,
Yeah.
Pops.
Well, you're gonna love him if he's half of the time if he's verse. I don't know.
But it'd be okay if he was bi. I mean, come
Maybe
on.
he's bi,
I mean,
so you love him like 3/4 of the time.
So you
I
love
don't
him
know.
3/4 of the time. Pops, again, thank you so much. And anybody out there, if you have a question and you think that I might be able to help,
Oh,
which
please
is
keep these coming.
Please
Please
send
keep
them
these
because
coming.
it's, if we can help a person one email at a time, we've got you, okay? Alex, so what's going on with you this week? Anything fun? Today's May 6th, right? Cinco de Mayo was over the weekend that I didn't even know existed until I moved to Miami, just to let you know, okay?
So on May 7th, our Mr. Eagle is having his going away party to go to IML to compete for the International Male Leather Competition.
Mr. Crespo.
In Chicago. So we are sending him a fond farewell there and raising money for his to sponsor him to go there, because leather is expensive.
Leather is expensive.
It's very expensive.
Right? You would think that they don't wear a lot, right?
Yeah,
for presentation, etc.
Sometimes they don't. For the swimsuit comment. We don't say that in the leather community because we're very, But yeah, so that's happening.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's a quiet.
It's never quiet for you, Alex.
Well,
It really is never
Not in
quiet.
my head, no.
He was like, he's been at the Eagle for almost a year,
Yeah.
right? Like about some 8 months or
Yeah.
something like that. And I remember when he first started where he was like, I'll pick up a couple days here and there.
Exactly.
I'll be like my little side hustle. No big deal. Now he's in there like 5 days a week.
Oh my God, it's like semi-retirement. It's like right around the corner. I don't have to suck dick for dollars anymore. It's great.
Oh my goodness. Make sure that you go on over to the Eagle and see Alex.
Come say hello.
Alex, I adore you.
I love you.
I missed you.
Glad to be back.
Please don't keep your Greek goddedness away from
when
me.
you miss each other, it's more exciting and it's more like electric because so much to talk about.
Yeah.
Which we clearly do.
Which we clearly do. Thank you, Alex Dikas, for joining me in bed. I adore you. Folks at home, did you know that the Happening Out Television Network studios are located at Sunshine Cathedral Square, which also houses Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church located in Fort Lauderdale. We broadcast our Sunday service every week at 10:30 a.m. At the FayWhat Show, we bring you interesting interviews with amazing people from our community. Today, we celebrate the VP, the Vice President at the Dolphin Dems, and my sister. I adore her. Here is Adrianna Tender. Good morning and welcome to the FayWhat Show. Today I am super blessed to have such a great friend in bed with me. Her name is Adrianna Tender, all right? And Adrianna is the program coordinator for Trans Inclusive Group and a board member of the Human Rights Campaign. She's a determined advocate with expertise in trans healthcare and HIV prevention. Adrianna is a recognized force for change, receiving so many accolades that if I start naming them all, it will take up the whole damn show. I'm just saying, all right? I just saw her get an incredible award at the Code Red Gala a couple months ago. Yeah, and it was just incredible to add to her wall of accolades, you know? And it's time to know more about Adrianna Tender. Welcome, Adrianna.
Hi.
Hi, baby girl. How are you, my beautiful sister?
I'm good, and you?
Good. Thank you for coming back on the show. Thank you, thank you.
Anytime.
So the last time I had you on the show, it was a quick interview because it was all that bullshit with the licenses and, you know, and you are always my go-to when it comes to any of that kind of stuff because you get all this fake news if you go do your research sometimes. You know what I mean? So I had to get you on the show for that. And now, you know, I needed to get you back because I want our viewers to learn more about you. Okay? So can I call you Madam Vice President?
Oh, I like that. That's really hot, madam. Yes, I love it. Just you, though. Just you. You're the only one that can call me that.
Listen, folks, she is the first black woman as VP for the Dolphin Dems, all right? Take that in. Like, that is such an incredible feat. Like, you know, and it's like you could, is that your damn phone?
It is.
Only Adrianna doesn't turn off her phone to be here, you know? And so we're just going to have David go turn it off while we continue doing our show because that is how we do in this world, all right?
Okay.
So, damn, that shit is loud too. What is that ringer? Tell me that's
so
Tommy's ringer.
Oh my God, let me turn it off. Let me make sure I don't have this problem again.
Okay, what ringer is that? Tell me.
I don't know. Something to do with Samsung? I have no idea.
You know, I left Samsung a year ago.
No.
I did. I'm an iPhone.
Are you an Apple person?
No. I never was, Adrianna. I was an iPhone. I was an Android for many, many years, and then I lost the bet to the Cuban, and now I'm stuck in iPhone for a year. Let's not even start with the damn conversation, all right? Let's get back to the Dolphin Dems, all right? So I was happy for you and the Dolphin Dems, you know, when you were elected VP at the Dolphin Dems, the first black woman as VP, you know. Now, what are your plans now as VP?
So for me, I really want to make sure that the organization is representative of our community. Mm-hmm. So right now it's probably about, I would say, 5% black.
Okay, 5%. Shit, Adrianna. Okay. No, again,
maybe.
Listen. With you, they're pointing in the right direction, right? And they have your voice of like, hey, if I'm here at the table, I got to bring other black and brown folks here too. You know, that's something I've learned from you.
Yes. So I want to bring other black and brown people as well as trans people as well as women.
Yeah.
Women. We need more women.
Yeah, for sure. And that's all across the board, you know? We've got to get more women out there, for sure. How important is voting this year, it being an election year? How important do you think it is for all of us as a community?
It's imperative. Mm-hmm. It's imperative. And not just our federal elections, but our local elections as well. Yeah. You know, there's a lot of things going on. We have to be able to make sure that these issues with the gender markers and the bathroom issues, mm-hmm. as well as things that just impact the LGBTQ community on the whole. Yeah. We have to make sure that we vote Biden.
And so, and on the local level, like you mentioned, you're saying like board of education, commissioners, mayors, stuff like that, right?
That's what's really important. Those are the things that are really impacting us here in our community. Yes, it's important to go vote for the president, but if you want to know about, hey, what about that pothole over there, mm-hmm. or the red light, mm-hmm. or what's going on in your school district? Yeah. Those are things that are voted on here locally. Even though trans people aren't even supposed to be going to the bathroom that we desire to go to. We're supposed to be going to the bathroom that we were assigned at birth. And that is not because of the federal government. It's because of the local elections here and that tired behind governor that we have, who I won't even speak his name.
No, let's not even give him any light, you know? I mean, like, you know, we sometimes forget because here in Wilton, we sometimes live in a little bubble. you know, or we go to our gay owned and operated places, but that's not the norm. You know what I mean? That is one little small sector of how big South Florida is, you know? I mean, I can't imagine you going into the men's bathroom, Adrianna. I just can't, you know what I mean? And I could just imagine going, hey, baby. I can just imagine that guy in the bathroom going, hey, baby, what you doing in here looking for me? You know what I mean? Like, come on, like.
I've had an issue, and this is so many years ago. This was like back in 1997 when I first came out. And I mean, don't imagine this voluptuous shape that you see here, but I was a little skinny little chick with big breasts. I worked at a restaurant called Denny's, and I remember for 2 years they allowed me to go to the women's room, and we got a new manager. And the manager said, oh, because of your fellow employees and other constituents, as far as like, you know, people that were coming to the restaurant, they wanted me to go to the men's room.
Yeah.
And I was like, you are completely crazy. And but I did. I went and I waited until it was like the hot hour, because I used to work in Miami Lakes, and they had this club called Mad Jack's that was like right down the street.
Oh, so everybody would go there after they eat, for sure.
2 o'clock in the morning, the restaurant is packed. There's a line out the door, and in this area, it was predominantly black and brown people. So I would go. I went into the bathroom, and I really didn't have to go. I just went another primp. I'm just making my face up, and oh my God, it caused a humongous mess.
Oh my goodness.
And so the men were like, they couldn't believe I was going in there, and the women were upset because they were like, what is this woman doing
in the men's bathroom? Yeah.
So because of that, they didn't let me go to the women's room, but guess what? They sent me across the street, down the street, to a bathroom at the Amoco gas station. And I'm going to just keep fast forwarding, but let me tell you what ended up happening. What ended up happening is I got all of the staff, all the other employees that were women, asked them, did they have a problem with me going to the bathroom? And had they ever heard an issue with any of the people that came to the restaurant? They said no. Waited till the staff meeting. I advocated for myself, and I made sure, and I talked to everybody, and guess what? I ended up being allowed to go to the women's bathroom.
My God.
And that's what's so important.
It is so important, but you gotta fight for your right to go to the fucking bathroom, Adrianna.
You gotta fight for your rights for everything.
My God, I guess you're right. Yeah, I know you're right. You do so much with the trans community at Trans Inclusive Group. Everybody over there just does so much. You just spotlighted Trans Day of Visibility a few weeks back, and thank you for allowing me to be a part of that. You have no idea how much that means to me. You know what, better yet, I think you do know how much it means to me. I don't think that most people do know, but you know, you know? With that being said, you posted recently that if you're not Black and trans, please know your place when advocating for us, which is in the backseat. Representation counts. I'm not putting myself in that. I'm just saying, when somebody reads that, what should they take from that?
I think that they should make sure when advocating for someone that they talk to those people and know what they want and know what place they want them to take.
Okay.
You know, like for instance, when you came, and I want to say thank you so much for all you do, and thank you for coming for the second year to our Trans Day of Visibility program, and hopefully we'll have you again next year.
I would love that.
That's a form of you advocating for us, but you're still advocating at our program.
Yeah.
We've asked you to do this.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, it's almost like, and I hate to say, it's like, know your place, sweetie.
Yeah.
You know, not going to create something for yourself and then saying, oh, let's invite the trans people.
Yeah.
We're going to do this.
Let me put together Trans Day of Visibility. You want to come along? Like, that's some crazy shit. I can't even imagine.
No, leave that up to the trans people.
Yes. Let the trans people tell you where they need you to be.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, like I had posted for Trans Day of Visibility, and I said thank you to you and Tatiana and Misty and just some of the girls that have helped guide me through this process, right? We have to continue learning. I keep on telling people, if you're not T, then your ass needs to continue learning no matter what. And that is every day.
I'm in agreement. And I think there was a time and a place where we weren't front and center. There were times when there were not trans organizations like Trans Inclusive Group and the McKinsey Project, Adrianna Tender, and Trans Social, where we looked to the bigger, larger organizations to be there for us and to help us and to assist us, and we tell them what we needed, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
Or they would tell us what they thought we needed.
You needed.
But now that we have those types of organizations, I think the other organizations should take a step back and say, let me partner with you.
Yeah.
That's why it was so great, even though, and I'm not thanking their hand or anything like that, because I went yesterday and it was great. I went to Sunserve T-Dub event yesterday and it was Kiki and it was great. But they knew, they was like, hey, let me partner with y'all. Let me partner with Trans Inclusive Group and see what you got going on, and you tell me where you need me. And they were there. Misty came. You saw Misty there at the table. And that's how this should work.
Okay. Yeah. And there's a lot of unlearning. And you guys always hear me saying that. There's so much unlearning for our community to do. And it's sad that it's our community. We're under the same umbrella. Okay. Again, that's a whole other conversation, right? But it's, you know, it's so true. You know, I never even thought about the fact that trans inclusive, trans social, the McKinsey Project, those didn't exist, 15 years ago. It didn't exist. So then you were kind of at the mercy of other people telling you what you wanted. That doesn't even make any sense. It's like fucking men deciding what women should do with their bodies. It don't make no fucking sense. All right. Let's say
at all, period.
At all, period.
At all.
Okay, so let's get to know you, Adrianna. Okay, we always talk important shit, but I mean, I'm
26.
26. Flip that number. Oh my God. Hey, where are you from originally?
So I am from this wonderful town in the middle of the Bible Belt of Florida called Panama City, Florida.
Mm-hmm. Oh, at Panama City, don't they have like a lot, like big spring breaks and shit like that?
Yes. Back in the day when I was young, just
26.
10 years ago.
26.
They used to have all of the MTV spring break parties there on the beach. We are home of the world's most beautiful beaches. They say.
No, they say, yeah. Okay, was your family supportive?
That's an interesting question.
Sort of.
Supportive of me as a person, as a human being,
as their
child, wanting to see me prosper. Yes.
Okay.
I remember I started transitioning, I would say like in 1997. And my grandmother, God bless the dead, who passed in 2011, was 94 years old. And I remember her telling my parents, listen, baby, if the child want to be called she, then you call her she.
Aww.
If she want to be called Adrianna, call her Adrianna. What's the big deal?
That's
Just
amazing.
be quiet and pray for the child. Lord have mercy. And that was my grandmother. And, it's a beautiful thing today that my big, strong father who raised me in, I was a military brat.
Mm-hmm. So you moved around also.
Well, the good thing about it, we moved around a lot when I was really, really young. And then after that, we were very consistent. We stayed right there in Panama City for many, 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 many years. What I wanted to say is this day now, he calls me she, calls me Adrianna. I remember maybe back in, I want to say 2010, I remember for the first time, I love planting flowers. I have wherever I'm at, I don't care how big the yard, putting flowers and all that kind of stuff, and then I get it from my grandmother.
Oh, I love that.
And so I remember I had this huge front yard full of flowers, and I needed some mulch. And so it was like 6:30 in the morning. I went with my father. He had came to visit me here with his now current wife. And we went to the store, and I went to pick up the mulch. And he says, girl, if you don't move, you're going to break a nail.
Let me handle that. Oh my God.
And he picked it up, and I promise you, I just started crying and tearing. At that point, he wasn't ready to say, he wasn't calling me she.
Yeah, but that was his way.
But that was the first time. That was then. But
acknowledgement.
But maybe 3 years ago, I had a huge conversation with my whole family, and I told them, I was like, listen, how can I be out here advocating for trans people and telling them, because they're always asking me, how do I deal with my family? How do I get them to say she? How do I get them to stop calling me my dead name? And all
I can imagine everybody asking you that.
And I'm going, and I'm telling them all these wonderful things, and I'm going, I'm still allowing my family to dead name me and call me by wrong pronouns and mess with my mental health. But maybe about 3.5 years ago, I pulled him to the side and I was like, listen,
It's time.
I can no longer allow you to mess with my mental health
Yeah.
by calling me my dead name or the wrong pronouns. And ever since then, I haven't had a problem with any of them.
Yeah.
Except my mother. But hey, she's a Methodist minister. She loves me. We go on. But hey, life goes on.
No, but life goes on, and there's an evolution, and I mean, and you can't it's not that you can't get rid of your family, because if your family's toxic and they're not doing any good for you, get rid of them, right? But if there is some hope, there is some glimmer, like, my mom really, really is so religious that she just thinks that I am gonna be in flames when I die, right? And she worries about that. And it's like, if she took a lie detector test, she'd pass it. She really thinks I'm going to hell and sad about it. You know what I mean? So it's like, that keeps her up at night. And it's like, lady, so little by slowly, right? Little by slowly. You're always busy saving lives. You're always, doing something for HRC, or you're doing something for Trans Inclusive, or you're doing something for Dolphin Dems, or, you're doing something for yourself. When the hell do you find the time for Tommy? Tommy is her boo, and he is the cutest man ever. How do you find time to juggle all that?
I don't know if I appreciate that question. Because I promise you, he is somewhere looking at this and he's going, "That's right, Faye. Ask that question. Ask that question." Or today he's probably sitting there with his stomach going, "Oh my God, I don't feel good." Well, I really have to put things like that on the schedule. I have to make sure that I spend quality time with him, because it's one of the most important things in my life. I love him dearly. I wouldn't trade him for the world. He is, I told someone just the other day, I was sitting at a panel and I was like, he's my go-to for everything. Mm-hmm. He's my strong man. He is my Superman. But I do have to schedule it. I'm always like, okay, time for Tommy. Yeah. Time for Tommy. Because he will say stuff like, "Okay, Adrianna, are you through trying to save the world? That Tatiana Williams has you working too much at Trans Inclusive Group or all these organizations." Yeah. And he's like, I'm like, "Okay, baby, we're gonna
do something." Yeah. Yeah, no, and I didn't, and Tommy is like a force in his own right? Like, I had no, Tommy to me was Adriana's boo, right? Like, my Cuban is my boo, right? And so it wasn't until, I think, TransCon that I got to be on a panel with him. I was leading a panel, and he blew me away. Like, he's just so eloquent and so knowledgeable, and like, just knows where his feet are. And that's refreshing, you know? And that gives other people hope.
He truly does. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of things I run by him. I'm like, what do you think about this?
Yeah. And he'll be honest about his answer.
Dead honest.
Oh, dead honest.
Even when you don't want him to be. When you're like,
you don't want. You were saying that your mom is a pastor, basically, right?
She is. She's part of the African Methodist Episcopal Church.
And how long has she been a pastor? Your whole life, or no?
No.
Okay.
She only became a pastor, I think I was in my late 20s. So it was definitely interesting it was like almost a revert. It was like from Adrianna to dead name, Mm-hmm. And so now she knows that certain things could put me in harm's way. Mm-hmm. So she does her best to say things like, "My child, my love." Got it. "My eldest child." Got it. She does her best to do that.
That's her way of kind of coping. But I also know that I know many people that have a parent that is really religious, or a pastor, or a reverend, or whatever. And because of that, is made them run the other way from religion. And for you, church is still a big part of your world. So
it is. The one thing I fight with on a regular with my mom, I'm like, don't let the outer confuse you. You are my mother. You did raise me with all types of morals and values, and I was raised up in the church. There probably wasn't a day that I was not in the church growing up. Yeah. So now I'm happy. I found a family at Antioch Missionary Baptist Church, and I've been there since 2008. And
Tommy goes with you also, right?
I love it. He just joined the church 2 months ago.
That is beautiful, girl. That is beautiful.
I was about to cry.
You posted about it. That's why I was like, "Oh my God! Like this is a big deal."
It was a humongous deal because his father was a pastor all of his life.
Wow. Okay.
Honey, you'll have to have him on one day.
Holy crap! Yeah.
And so he went through all of the conversion therapy stuff and all of that, and he had a really bad experience. So we had to take baby steps. So we've been together. So March 25th is our anniversary.
Woo! All right.
And so it's been maybe 2.5 years that he's been going to church with me. And, you know, I guess you know how you watch somebody and you're sitting there and you're going, ooh, they're feeling it. Ooh, they're enjoying it. Ooh, they're having a good time. And there'll be one moment where he's just clapping and having a good time, and then he'll pull back. And it's like, no, I can't no. But that's his trauma.
Yeah. No, that is his complex PTSD, and he owns it. And I mean, yeah, I can see that. I think it's huge growth that he's been able to say, look, I want to be a part of this church with you.
Yeah. One day when it happened, I was sitting there and I was just like, I saw it. Like I knew it was coming. I was sitting there. God. He was like there, and I just reached. I grabbed his hand like this, and I looked at him and said, I'm here for you. And then I let go and went back to what I was doing, clapping and just listening. And he got up.
I love that.
He put one leg down, put one pants down,
and that's it.
And he was there, and in front of almost, like, I would say 8,000 people.
8,000 people. Holy crap. Wow. That's amazing. Tommy, we love you. You know, I always say that the L and the T need to combine themselves more.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, they need to be closer, you know?
Agree.
And then we have these idiots that say that they're fucking TERFs that ruin it for the rest of the lesbians. All right. Do you think that that's hurt the possible huge alliance between all queer women?
No. I think that there will be a time and a place that the L and the T are closer. I don't even want to say there will be a time. I would say that the time is now. Look how close we are. I'm not even just sitting here like this, but you're my sister.
Adrianna, I adore you. I love you. And I can't imagine, I don't remember life before you.
I want to call this young lady's name and I cannot think of it. It's gonna kill me. Jasmine. She used to work at Hot Spots.
Yes, Jasmine Rogers. Yes, hi,
Jasmine Rogers.
Yes.
She is such an amazing individual. She reached out to me, and she was part of the reason that I got recognized with the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Award with the City Hall of Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
And she was just telling me how important it was to her, like it is you, that the L and the T bond and get closer. So I think there is work to do.
Yeah.
But I think when you have people like yourself, like Jasmine, like Ebony Crispin, and other people that are so passionate about us forming these bonds and working together.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, it has to happen. It needs to happen. I refuse to, like I've told you before, if I'm usually sitting at the table being the only woman. Okay? And now that when I have my place at the table, I look around and go, okay, where is my black or brown trans sister? Because I don't see them represented, you know? That's where I'm at right now. And I believe that every lesbian needs to find their education, right? Understand that all queer women are women, period. Right? And start fighting the same fight. Because, I mean, this is just, if we don't get together soon, we are fucked, Adrianna.
I think that we all need each other. You know, I remember a time when I thought a little differently about, please don't beat me up, people, about abortion issues.
Okay.
Mainly because of the way that I was raised. I'm raised in the church. And I had someone sit me down and we had a conversation, and that was okay. But I remember last year when Roe v. Wade got overturned, and we had a rally down in, I think, Las Olas. And I sat there and I listened to those stories, and from that point I was like, you know what, I'm here. You know, let me sign the petition. Let me take these petitions and go somewhere else and advocate for you and help. Anywhere, anytime that you need me, I'm there. And I think a lot of times the tea is there for a lot of the community. But when it's time for the tea and when the tea needs our help, a lot of people are nowhere to be found.
Yeah, and you know why? It's a lot of fear, Adrianna. It's a lot of misinformation. You know, I don't want to call you people idiots, but some of you are.
You can.
But some of you definitely are, you know, because it's true. You're absolutely right. You do. The T does stand up for any of the other letters. And then when it's needed reciprocated, it's not always the case. So, Adrianna, who are your mentors? Who do you look up to now? If you have an issue, who do you call?
This is going to sound so funny. Well, not funny. Well, one of the main people, even though we have issues, is my mother. I call my mom and we talk and I ask her about things and she'll give me her point of view. I may not always like it, but I'll listen, you know, and I know that she's coming from a place of love and a place of faith. So my mother is one of those people. My executive director of my organization, we have a very interesting relationship. She is my boss. And she is one of my really good friends that I've known since 1997. And that's Tatiana Williams.
And she's a pillar in this community.
She is a pillar in this community.
That could intimidate anybody.
Truly. I mean, a lot of people, I just recently was talking to someone the other day and I thought it was hilarious. They were like, honey, that Tatiana is completely and utterly just arrogant. And I'm like, excuse me? I'm like, listen, she knows.
She's fine. And she knows she's fine. I don't think it's being arrogant.
She knows what she wants. She knows what she's capable of.
Listen.
She stands on business. And some people can't take her for it, but she is definitely one of my mentors. She's someone that brought me into community when I had no idea that this type of work even existed for us. Many, many years ago, I started going to school and got a degree in psychology. And I was like, okay, I want to know more about who I am, who trans people are. And I thought that was going to be the way for me to do that. And one day, I would say maybe six or 7 years ago, she was like, girl, come to this meeting with me, you know? I started hanging out at Trans Inclusive Group. I want to say it was 2016, 2017. And she was like, okay, come to some of these meetings at the health department. I started doing that. And she is how I got into advocacy.
Wow. She kind of led the way.
And I believe that that's what a leader does.
Yes.
A leader not only leads from the front, always leads from the back, and always makes sure that they're reaching back to get other people
to bring them forward
to help lead. I would not be a leader in this community today if it wasn't for Tatiana.
Well, but she also saw something in you. You know what I mean? That's also not something that you can do with everyone, right? You can definitely say, hey, come with me to this and you can do this. But then she put you in a focal point. You know what I mean? Like people think of you and her when they think of trans inclusive, you know? And she had to guide that to make that happen, you know? Tatiana knows where her feet are also. And that is what can be portrayed to some people as arrogance. I don't think it's an arrogance thing. No. She's fine as hell. And she knows she's fine, but that's not it. It's just like, you know, you're not going to tell me how to walk. You're not going to tell me how to be. I got this. That is what I get from the arrogance that people see.
I think that, and I don't know what kind of language I can use on your show.
I just cursed like 15 times.
Well, I think she's one of those people like, I am who I am. I'm going to be who I'm going to be. And I don't give a fuck what you think. And that's how that is. And that's one of the main things that she's taught me. You know, not when you go in a room, you just don't go in a room and be like, okay, yes. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. You go in there and you disrupt that bitch. You go in there and you let them know what you stand for and what you're about.
Yes.
And they either take it or leave it.
I fucking love that. You walk into a room and you disrupt it. I love that. All right. I said that this interview was all about finding out more about you, and then I went down a rabbit hole. So let's play this game called Say What with FayWhat. Okay? So it's a lightning round, and basically I tell you two things like SUV or car, and you have to pick one really quick. Okay? Take a sip.
Oh God, I'm like so fast.
Take a sip.
Okay. It's water.
With a little bit of Tito's. Just a little bit.
Oh my God, she knows me really good. Too good.
All right, here we go. SUV or car?
Now SUV.
All right. Okay. Saltburn or White Lotus?
Saltburn.
Did you see it? You see that bath water? Yeah. Oppenheimer or Barbie?
Barbie.
Cash or Cash Apps?
Cash.
Old school like that, right? Hard-earned cash. All right. Pizza or Chinese?
Oh God, it just depends on the night. Pizza.
Sicilian slice or regular pizza slice?
What is a Sicilian slice?
It's the square one that's all thick.
Oh God, that's like Jet's pizza, the way they have it.
Yes.
Sicilian.
Okay. Shopping in person or online?
Online.
Football or basketball?
Basketball.
That was easy. All right.
They
Okay.
see it swinging more.
Pickleball or tennis?
Tennis.
Okay. Cake or pie?
Cake.
Okay. Hold on. I'm still scrolling here.
You're
All right,
good,
okay.
you're good.
Okay. Paper book or ebook?
Ebook.
For real? Like you don't.
Like an Audible, actually.
Yeah. But there's something about the smell of a book, though.
love
You know
them.
what I mean?
I have them. I love them. It depends on what it is. Sometimes I have like Becoming. I got the ebook.
Oh, and I got the book. Oh hell yeah,
I had
me
to
too.
have it.
I know, had to have it. Lady Gaga or Beyonce?
Must you ask?
Oprah or Michelle Obama? I know that bit. I know.
Michelle.
The View or Abbott Elementary?
The View.
I love Abbott Elementary though, but that's hard. Pasta or rice?
Rice.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Hercules. I love you, Hercules. That's her
miss my
dog, by the way. Spider or snake?
Neither.
Toilet paper and over or toilet paper and under?
Over.
Yes, there's something wrong with you people that have the toilet paper under, and know that if I ever go to your house, I'm gonna flip the toilet paper roll.
It'll be like that.
Just saying, all right? I'm just saying. How do you take your coffee?
With cream.
No sugar.
Oh, cream and sugar.
Okay. No, we gotta make sure. I'm just saying.
I just didn't let you know. It's just not black.
Okay, just not. That's how I love my coffee. It's just
Are you
black.
serious?
Yes, like
No
that.
sugar, no cream?
No sugar, cold, no cream. In a carafe, cold like that. That's how I love it. That's how I like my women too.
I like it hot. Mucho caliente.
Just saying. Do you have a whole breakfast, or are you one of those people that just has coffee and then just goes?
Whole breakfast, and I just now made breakfast for me and Tommy just before I left the house. Any time of day.
Sunrise. Oh yeah, I love upside down day when you have waffles for dinner. I love that shit. Just saying. All right. I'm just saying. Christmas or Halloween?
Christmas.
I love Christmas. I like Halloween too. But do you have a romantic nickname for Tommy?
So Superman, would that be romantic? If I
It
call him
is
Superman?
romantic. Yeah.
He's my Superman at all times.
Oh, I love that. What does he call you?
Goddess.
Yes. Yes. Finish this line for me. Don't talk to Adrianna Tender until
You got your shit together.
Don't talk to her until you got your shit together. All right? Adrianna, if you were in a movie, right? If there was a movie about your life, who would play you?
Jennifer Hudson.
Oh, I know. I love that. Why not? Can you sing?
A little bit.
Okay.
I mean, I did try it for the church choir, but
But trying out and making it are two different things. Did you make it? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. You brought up the subject.
I just don't have the time for it.
No, I get it. I totally get it. I totally get it. You know, honestly, this is, I love having you in bed, Adrianna. Thank you so much for being with me.
Anytime.
I love finding out more and more about you. The more that our friendship evolves, the happier I get. You know, like it's just, I got your back no matter what. Please know that. Okay.
I have yours as well.
Seriously, all right? So make sure that you follow Adrianna Tender on all social media outlets. Also follow Trans Inclusive, okay? Do me a favor, Adrianna. Look into that camera and do you have a message for a trans person that might be struggling right now, not knowing what to do or where to go? There's so many ways that a trans person can be struggling, you know? So I know it's a very open thing that I'm asking you, but...
So... since that is kind of broad.
Yeah.
So the first thing I want to say, I can look right here in this camera.
Yeah.
The first thing I want to say is make sure that you're registered to vote and get up and go vote, because that will change not only your lives, but lives of other trans people. And also, listen, you can go to transinclusivegroup.org to our crisis fund. And I happen to be the person that answers all of those messages. And just let us know what you need. And we'll try to make sure that if we can't do it for you, we'll make sure that you have the resource to find whatever it is that you need. We also have meetings on the second and the last Thursday of the month. They're virtual at the moment, but we're also starting back now to do them in person. So just follow us on either Twitter,
Facebook.
Is it Twitter or is that X? What is that place called?
Twitter's X now. Twitter's
X, Facebook, Instagram, all those places. Trans Inclusive Group. We're there. Let us know. All of our advertisements for all of our events and everything is there.
Perfect. Adrianna Tender, thank you for being on the FayWhat show and for being a great friend. Thank you for everything you've taught me also. Like, that's just, it goes without saying how much you inspire me constantly. Please know that, all right? Follow Trans Inclusive Group, follow Adrianna Tender, follow Dolphin Dems, okay? They're all in social media, so make sure that you follow them and find out what the hell is going on, all right? Stay informed, mother effers. I know, the church lady comes out. We'll be right back. So that's it. That's the FayWhat show. I hope you had fun. Thank you so much to Alex Tikas for joining me in bed. Isn't he adorable? You know that he had dental surgery before he came here? He needs to fix that schedule, right? Like, okay, I think I'm just going to get... And you didn't even notice, right? That's how talented he is with his mouth. That's how talented he is. Follow him on social media, I'm telling you. Well, I'm really passionate about trying to connect the L and the G in our LGBTQ plus community. It's often hard for us girls, I gotta tell you. But if we believe that we are one strong community, then we must support all the letters of our LGBT and Q plus. We opened the show with a nod to Mary Tyler Moore and That Girl's Marlo Thomas. This show is dedicated to a strong LGBTQ plus community. I just encourage you to be a little bit kinder, a little bit funnier, and embrace our tremendous diversity. It's what makes us so strong. Until then, make sure you follow me on all social media outlets, Facebook, IG, TikTok, YouTube. Follow FayWhat. And since you're always on the go, you can listen to the FayWhat show wherever you listen to your podcasts. Just search the FayWhat show. Until next Monday World at 9 a.m. live or anytime on demand. I'm your girl, FayWhat, and I am #thatgirl. I wish you a week full of sunshine and rainbows. Stay gay.
Rainbows, gay boys, #that girl. Sunbeams, drag queens, L-word. Is that girl, the girl of all our dreams? She's everything that every girl should be. Aqua, South Beach, #that girl. Pride-filled, tea-dance, Wilton. Is that girl Latina, but she's universal too? If you find a girl to love, only one girl to love, then she'll be that girl too. That girl.
So, did you enjoy the show? I know you did. So make sure to click subscribe so you won't miss any of the events, news, or interviews right here on the FayWhat show. Ring the bell at the bottom of the screen, right there, so you'll be alerted every time we're live. You can also click on the Happening Out Television Network logo so you can see all of the shows on the most diverse LGBTQ plus media network. Find out just what we're doing to bring the L and the G together right here on the FayWhat show. Get the week started with me.